Okay, hello. Let's just check the audio is running today. Make sure it's all working. Lovely, it's all working, which is strange. But it's working, it's strange, isn't it? Okay, today we're going to be flying an A321 with Fly UK between Gatwick and Newcastle. So, unfortunately for me, I have not downloaded the repaint for the A321 for Fly UK because I totally forgot. I thought I had it installed, but so what we're going to do is use an identical plane. It's still an A320 A321 231. It's absolutely identical, but it's obviously in a British Airways livery. So, completely identical plane itself. The plane itself is identical. We're just running with a bit of a different livery on there today. We'll just pretend it's like on behalf of or something. I don't really care. So, I'm just starting that now. Let's go ahead and actually get the display capture up and running. And I've only just realised now that it says the end of the stream, not the start of the stream. My bad. The reason I've chosen this flight today, I was going to do up to Manchester, but the whole of the ATC, that would mean ATC for the whole journey, including landing in Manchester. I would rather maybe have a little bit of peace and quiet at least when it comes to it. So, oh well. Today in Gatwick, we've got the full-on. We've got Tower, ATIS, and Approach, and London Centre's online as well, so that's why I didn't think. I don't really want to have that much control. It's a bit overwhelming, so we're just sticking with that. So here we are in today's A321 that is operated by BA on behalf of Fly UK. So here we are, loaded in. I do love this UK. Again, I've got UK 2000 scenery for both Newcastle and... Right, let's just start the flight on Skytrap. I've got scenery for Newcastle and Gatwick, basically. I've also got scenery for Manchester I downloaded, but turns out we will not be using that today. So, just the one flight in today's stream, a little bit shorter than usual, because obviously it's an evening stream, a bit different to the streams we normally do. So, I'm just going to go ahead and finish off this sim brief. So, let's go ahead and generate that now. So, estimated, I reckon it'll take... So Fly UK are estimating it'll take 57 minutes today. The flight. I do enjoy flying this lovely jet. I do love the A320 and the A321. I haven't flown the A321 in a while. Obviously this one has IAE engines on board. Which again, normally I fly with the CFM engines. So it'll be different. Simbrief is telling me 55 minutes, so we'll see. In terms of fuel, they're giving me, well, like Fly UK is saying a lot less fuel, but obviously I'm going to follow Simbrief because they're generally a bit better. So what we'll do now is go ahead and connect to Vatsim. So call sign today is Skyways 8 Bravo Echo, and we are an A321. Salcol code, I don't think we've got one. Oh, we have ESAG, but I'm not going to be using it because we're not flying over the ocean. So, today we're flying from EGKK to EGNT with an alternate, stupidly, of Heathrow. I don't understand that either. And departure time today, I was planning 1800 Zulu. So, time on route today should be 55 minutes. Cruising today at 32,000 feet. What will our cruise speed be like? Approximately 460. So let's go ahead and pop that in there. So, remarks. Fly UK. Just put that. Fuel today is 2 hours 29. Is how much fuel we are taking. The route today is quite a long one, considering it's a reasonably short flight. There we go. Right, I've got that copied into there. Obviously, this one also has the latest AirAct data. I had to do it manually, which can be a bit of a pain, but it worked. So, go ahead and file our flight plan. Make sure it says text only, which it does. Lovely. Okay, so that should be it. All I need to start doing now is I'll get GSX sorted, and then I can start to set up the flight. So boarding, today we have 136 on board this lovely aircraft. We are using British Airways as a handler. They should start doing that now. And we also need to contact... Oh, there are no clearance, so I'll contact the tower for clearance. So tower is today on the frequency of 124.22. So I'll get that plugged into there. So we're online the tower now. Actually, let's go ahead and leave that for now, because I'd rather not have the crazy chitter-chatter while I'm setting the plane up. So today we are flying from EGKK to EGNT. Yep. And our flight number today is FL492. Cost index 25. That is actually the cost index they use on Fly UK. And cruise altitude of 320 today. So we're planning to depart off runway 26 left. Actually, let's not bother putting anything in until I've requested clearance. Okay, so flick this over. So, requesting IFR clearance to Newcastle. On stand 105. What was the thing I need to tell him? So, type is A321. Is that... I will just check finally the notes the tower controller has given us. Hasn't said anything, so... So I've just posted that on the tower now, and we'll see what they get back with. So first of all, I mean, the plane will be set up later. We haven't been given anything back yet, so let's just start putting in the route while we given all our sort of info. So today we're taking the Tiger 3M, but I couldn't find that, so I'm going to choose the 1X for now, because I couldn't find the charts for the other one, which was a bit weird. Oh yeah, I need to listen to the ATIS as well. Need to listen to the ATIS. So, ATIS is 134.22. Yeah, okay, so I need to connect to the ATIS and make sure I can hear that as well. Okay, so we're using 126 left, which is what I thought. I have not been given anything back here from ATC yet. Okay, so the next job is to enter in our route. So from LAM, we're taking L10. Obviously, being on the latest air act, we shouldn't have any problems here. From L10 to UN601. Yep. UY250. Which is correct. To Rinto. I still haven't given any kind of clearance yet. We're landing on runway 25 on the Rinto 1N arrival. So that's the route. I still haven't been clearance. So I'm just going to request clearance again. So I'll say information hotel. Right, I've asked them again now. Hopefully they'll get back to me this time. Flaps, we're going to use flaps preset 1. Let's set up all this again, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Okay, saying standby. I'm on last priority list, which is a bit silly. So he's basically just gonna wait and then contact me later. So for now, I would like to get the APU started and us ready to leave. So we'll just do that basic checklists and then we'll get off on our way once we got clearance. Okay, cleared. Okay, we have been cleared. So GSX is finished. Okay, so it says here. Cleared via the LAM 2 X-ray we've been given. So let's go ahead and set that then. We've been given the LAM 2 X-ray. LAM 2 X-ray, there you go, lovely. Recall, click that. Oh. It's good for us because that's actually a shorter, and then initial altitude is 4,000. So Squawk 6475. And I can't actually click on the button. I need to go all the way over to the TCAS panel because I can't do it yet. Alright, stop saying fuel pumps in the background, please. Alright, so annoying. 6475. So I've set, actually, obviously not do that until we're pushing back. So that's that sorted. Fuel pumps. I'm doing them now. Wow. And I've only just realised I haven't put in any of the weight yet, so... So loading everything, there you go, everything's on board the aircraft now, so... We're getting the APU started up. There, so that the APU is going to start firing itself up now. And then we're ready to push back. So let's go ahead and listen to the ATIS. So there you go. I've got that info there now, so I have information Yankee. So ready to go. QNH is 1017. So and also I'm gonna get Copilot turned on because while I'm off here typing, I can't hear what they're saying. Right, requesting push and start from stand 105, information Yankee, type A321, QNH 1017, which I will set into there. So that's that. The QNH is set up. So now I need to go ahead and do a check. It's just saying standby, so I'm happy with that. So what we need to do now, I just crossed off the chart. I just crossed that off, unfortunately, the NATS page. So let's go back to that. And then London Gatwick, yeah. And then we need to look at the LAM 2 X-ray to make sure everything we're being told. So 3,200 or above, yeah. 4,000 or 4,000 or below, yes. And then SUNAV 5,000, KK35 5,000, KKN 43 5,000, then 6,000, and then at LAM 6,000. Obviously all that is 250 knots. Apart from 220 knots at KK09, which is already in there. So, happy with that. Everything is in there like I want. So I'm happy to go now. We're just waiting. Let's get the, actually I don't want that yet. So now we're just waiting. Here we are at on the ground at Gatwick. I'm loving this little thing we got here. So we're just waiting now to be given clearance. So we're just waiting to get what's it called? Clearance, and then we should be ready to go. So we're saying standby. We just need to wait. Also, I feel sorry for this controller. It is packed on the ground here. But meanwhile, we may as well check our route while we're waiting. Make sure we haven't got any discons or anything. So we're all good there. I'm happy with the route so far. There's a little discontinuity there. And then landing. That's all. I'm happy with that for now. So now we are simply waiting to get clearance, which is taking absolutely ages, unfortunately. He's so overloaded, this controller. I'm still waiting. Crazy, there's a ton of aircraft in the area. I can see them all. It's quite busy. There's actually one just opposite me. Look at that. There's one just there. Oh, there's a Fly UK taxiing over there. Cool. Cool, there's a... I don't know what Dash 8 is doing here, I'll be honest. UKV... He's going... Crazy. He's going to Amsterdam from Gatwick with a Dash 8, which seems weird. Right, I'm still waiting here. Come on! So we're still waiting here. I don't know how long it's take. Like, it's quiet now, so no. I'll give it until 6:40, and then I'll call him back because it would have been like approaching 8 minutes then, which is too long. It's pretty crazy though, isn't it? At the moment, it's an EasyJet just behind me. Oh, ground's just come online. Okay. I don't know whether, obviously, the ground will give me push and start clearance. Yeah, he hasn't told me to contact them. This is starting to get really annoying now. Hopefully now ground has come online. He'll move some of us off. But again, I'll getting pretty crazy this. I might switch over to the ground frequency. That might be easier. 121.8. I don't want to do it without the controller asking me to, though, which is the thing. Right, it's gone quiet, so surely you can contact me now? No, it's gone quiet, so... I'm sending the message again because it's literally been over 6 minutes now. I mean, that's longer than... That's quite a long time. So just make sure he hasn't forgotten. Cause I suspect he might be forgetting. I would forget, put it that way. He's just told me to contact ground. So... There you go. I've sent it over to ground now. So hopefully they can be a bit more helpful. Right, again, I've now put in... Please. Whose mic is that? That person's mic sounds ridiculous. Right, I'm still waiting. Even on this... There you go. Push and start approved. Face east. Lovely. Okay, finally we can get going. So, facing east... Okay, this will test my map skills. There's a little compass that pops out here. So 360 is obviously north. So 90 is east. So facing 90. So facing in the direction of that other runway there. So we need to push back left. So finally now we can start our pushback, which I'm glad for. We've been waiting quite a while. But there we go, we can eventually start going. I think the controller is quite overloaded, to be honest. It's packed here. Absolutely packed. They've got that EasyJet pushing back. There's a Thompson pushing back over there. It's absolutely packed. So, I'm glad to be getting this all done. Oh yeah, let's get this onto TARA now. I can put it into flaps 1. And now we're over the whole... craziness. I can turn off the co-pilot. Now we're over the crazy part of the flight. So put it into ignition start mode, ready to start the ignition when ready. Okay, engine 2 is starting. I do love the Airbus, much more simple than the Boeing, in my opinion. I do enjoy flying it, put it that way. It's weird, as I'm thinking I haven't done it correctly, because I haven't filled out any crazy, like, performance pages, but you don't need to, really, in the other one. I don't know why he's repeating the message, I know. I know it's pushback approved. Normally you don't have to read back with text. So I don't really understand what that's about. I think maybe because I wasn't moving. Okay, so engine 2 is almost stabilised. Right, engine 2. Yeah, engine 2 is finished. So, let's go ahead and get takeoff config sorted, I think. So, arm the spoilers ready. Max on the auto brakes ready, and that's it then. All ready. We need that to go on. We need beacon to be on yet. Runway turn-offs can come on as well, and strobes, I don't know, they'll ask, actually, let's wait until the checklist specifically require it. So I can get the docking chart off now. Don't need that. So pushing back. Just set my parking brakes. I know you can't hear me. Oh, please. It's so loud that I know you can't maybe hear me over the ATC, which is the loudest thing I have ever heard. Oh, man. We're on time, though. That's why I said we'd be leaving at 7 o'clock, at 6 o'clock Zulu on the thing, is because I had a feeling we would. And we are. Because it's so crazy at the moment. As far as I'm aware, yeah, Newcastle's pretty empty. So that's obviously why I was aiming to fly there. Getting some low FPS in, because obviously it's quite detailed scene. Well, not that detailed, but it's a big scenery. So, yeah, at the moment, it looks like, yeah, they're just unlocking us now. Yeah, APU bleed can come off. There you go, all good. Door page. Okay, so it's time for us to leave now. So, requesting taxi. So I'm moving over to the ground chart here that allow me to see quite the very small bit of the airport, actually, where, oh my word, that person's mic is really annoying me. It's so loud. Whoever that person's mic is, they need to turn it down. Not nice. Okay, we're still waiting for taxi clearance. What is going on today? It's crazy. And there you go. Taxiing holding point Alpha 3. Yep. Via Kilo Papa. Yep. Alpha November. Yeah, I see that. Lovely. Okay. I know the route we're going, so let's go ahead and finally set off for Newcastle. After a big long wait. That's for sure. I don't know what that no flight button is. If anyone knows what that no flight button is, tell me, because I have no clue. First right. Oh, that reminds me, I need to set the start switches back to normal. That's probably what the step I missed is. So this one here, now, I've just taxied on, that is November Alpha. The next one is Juliet. We're going on to Alpha November. We need. So going all the way up and then turning off Bavair onto Alpha November. And then Alpha November is not the one closest, it's the other one. So, yeah, I have a pretty good idea of where I'm going. It's not that clear, I know. So that one there, that one is Zulu. And then that one there is Alpha November. That one there is Alpha Sierra. Okay. Man, that's confusing. Contact the tower, he's just told me now. So I've contacted tower. Wow. craziness. So we're on the tower now. This is now down Alpha November, and then we'll go a right up to Alpha 3. So it's not the first one, I don't think. Where's Alpha 3? That's Bravo 1 there, so that's Taxiway November. And then Alpha 3 is where that Thompson is probably held as well. So that's where we'll hold, I guess, won't it be? So, oh man, it's crazy fun with ATC. I love it. Much more enjoyable. So this should here be Alpha 3, because it's not the holding point just before the runway. It's the holding point. So it's this one here, and then I think it's not very clear, is what it is. It's this bit here, you know, this little line, this little box. That's where we have to hold. So I can do the before takeoff checklist now. So above. Exterior lights. Requesting take off. So I'm requesting take off now, and then we should be allowed to get out of here at last. Roger, stand by. So we're just waiting here now for take off clearance. Obviously, there's the Thompson just ahead of us, so he'll get clearance first, and I assume we'll line up and wait, and then follow shortly after. There you go. Clearance has just been given. That's Tom Jet, which is Thompson's call sign, Tom Jet. Obviously, I would use voice as well, but I'm just staying out. I'm staying out of that basically, because you know it always goes wrong. So behind departing Tom Jet 737, line up runway 26 left. So there you go. I'm happy with the clearance we've been given. So I'm going to go ahead and roll onto the runway. Because that Tom Jet has now just left. Where's he going, actually, the Tom Jet? So that's TOM. LMAH, I think that's Menorca. I believe it's Mallorca. So he's going to have a nice flight to Mallorca then. Oh, great. I just realised now. Oh, man, that's a pretty big error. I'm stupid. Desktop audio was off that entire time, which is good because it does mean that you didn't hear the crazy ATC, but you also couldn't hear things like my co-pilot. Luckily, there's no crazy. You could still hear. You couldn't hear the ATC talking, which is good. But obviously, I was doing it via text, and I was talking, and my mic was on. Luckily, so that's okay. That the mic was still on. So we're parked up now on the runway. I can see that Tom Jet there. So, but it does mean obviously you couldn't hear me taxiing with the engines. You couldn't hear any of my clear for takeoff. Okay, so but now you will be able to hear the takeoff, which I think is the most important bit. I'm glad I just checked my OBS actually, because it means you can still hear the glorious takeoff. So 40% stable. Take off. Flex.
Man, flex, SRS and runway.
Check. Flex is 57 power today. I have no idea how it works it out. Okay, power is set. Lovely. Let's go ahead and start our takeoff roll. So 80 knots. Just hit it now.
100 knots.
There it is, 100 knots. And
V1.
V1.
Rotate.
Rotate.
Okay. Contact 4 Lima Yankee, contact
Obviously, there's no V2 in this aircraft, so bring off the ground gently. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Navigation.
Check.
And we have a good takeoff. Let's go ahead and start the clock.
Gears up. Lights off.
Lights off. Just the takeoff lights, basically. Taxi lights, that sort of thing. And that's it. Okay, we can bring the plane down now. Bring the plane down. Bring the speed up.
Flap 0.
Flap 0.
Flap 0.
And let's go ahead and put it into autopilot because I need to go ahead.
Autopilot on.
I need to connect to my ATC. So
Climb thrust.
back to climb thrust.
And the after takeoff checklist.
126.82.
Check normal.
Spoilers.
So we just connected there. Spoilers disarmed.
Flaps.
Check
Retracted.
retracted.
Landing gear.
Gear up, lights off.
Exterior lights.
Checked.
Packs.
Ocean Com 1,
Both on.
2.8
Anti-ice.
5
Off.
TCAS.
Checked.
Altimeter. Checklist complete.
So right at 4,000 feet. So just at 4,000 feet, we're stable there at 4,000, and that's it. That's all we need for now, I think. So you can see ourselves up here. So I haven't got any input yet from the approach.
Contact 4 Lima Yankee, climb flight 170.
So at the moment we're supposed to hold 4,000 until KKE 11, and then from there we are expected to climb, but I've only been given 4,000 so far as clearance. I don't know what to do there. Okay, the altitude of the airport, there you go, Squawk ident, climb to 130, which means we can clear all of these restrictions because we've been told to climb straight to 130. It's over the smiley face, so I assume that means I don't know, like happiness maybe for the fact that we get to skip out these restrictions. So but we've been cleared up as far as 250. No, not 250, I mean 130. That's how far we've been cleared. So I'm just deleting all the crazy speed constraints. So obviously it'll stay under 250 knots anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But we've been cleared straight up, which is good news. Right, standard. So we've been cleared straight up now, which is good.
Barrow reference set and cross-checked.
Check.
So we've been cleared straight up to 130. It's obviously good news, so I'm just going to check my OBS now to make sure, yep, both of the lovely audios are hitting you, which is very good. But I'm glad we were able to climb immediately, it's nice.
Contact 4 Lima Yankee, 12 Unicom 122.8.
Oh, Unicom, wow, okay. That's not nice. Unfortunately, yeah, the what's it called? The London Centre's turned itself off. I don't, honestly, he told me Squawk Mode ident, and now he's told me Squawk Mode Charlie. So he keeps swapping it around. I don't really know why. Right.
Passing 10,000 feet.
Lights off.
Yeah, I just turned the lights off. I'm not even answering.
Off.
There you go. Okay, so what we need to do now is set a course straight up to 320 and monitor Unicom on 122.8. So that's it now for control now, because there is no control over in Newcastle. So let's go ahead and check the charts for Newcastle. So Newcastle, and we are landing today on, what was it? It was the Tiger 3 mic. But I couldn't find charts for the 3 mic, I don't think. I'm using, which one was I using? So, approach, arrival. So where's the stars? I can't find the stars. Here it is. Rimto. Oh, that's stupid. I was looking at the Rimto 1 November. And that is the only one, in fact. I don't know what I was doing there. Okay, so what we need to do now is check our arrival. So, first of all, the first one with a restriction is Aircore. Flight level 160 at 220 knots. We need to be above 160. Then we need to be... Okay, that's not match. Actually, it is matching. I read the charts wrong. It's fine. Flight level above, again, 90. So the whole of it is above altitude. But the whole approach is done at 220 knots. And then the landing is obviously the ILS. And that's it. So I'm very happy with that. What is the ILS frequency? Oh, I forgot. You don't tune ILS frequency on this thing, do you? It all does it automatically, which is nice for me. It's a lot easier. Makes my job a lot easier. So for now, we're just going to stick like that. It's not sticking to what I want with that. Oh yeah, we can get the seatbelts off now. And that's it now. So we are safely in the air. After a bit of a hectic departure, nonetheless. And that's it. Lovely. Very happy with that. So, I'm very happy with what we've got now. So let's go ahead and just chill. So in terms of flights heading down to Newcastle, let's get the information on the airport. We have 3 planes heading down there today. We have a flight from Heathrow that hasn't yet departed. A flight from Dubai. It hasn't departed Heathrow. So I don't know when it's going to be arriving. A flight from Dubai that'll be landing at 10:13 my local time. So that's in a good couple of hours. So we don't have to worry about him. And then me. So we might see a bit of traffic in terms of the flight from Heathrow, but that depends when it gets off the ground. So, but at the moment I've just passed Heathrow, so at this rate I'll be there first. I'm passing Heathrow, not past it, I'm passing it. So, here we are, just sort of chilling above in the skies. So it's nice that we're flying the A321 today, and I do like the A321. I think it's a very nice aircraft. So, yeah, I'm happy at the moment that we are stable. So I think we can just sit back, enjoy the flight, all that. So make sure, actually let's just check the audio. Passing Heathrow. Yeah, I'm happy that it's working. So yeah, nothing more I can do at the moment. So we've checked discontinuity, we've checked the arrival, all that sort of stuff. Actually, I haven't said the barrel reference yet. I went to check it and forgot. Let's have a look. 239, so a barrel of approximately 450 I'll put in. Where is it? There you go, 450. What is the QNH down there as well? I forgot to look at that. Refresh all. QNH down there at the moment is actually 1013. 270 at 11 knots. So at the moment our approach speed is 140 knots today. The wind is obviously 0/0 because I'm running totally clear wind, nothing crazy. So totally happy with how it's gone. Let's just go ahead and let the flight work. See, at the moment, obviously, it's totally packed, Manchester Airport. So it's nice for me, I think. I think that flight from Heathrow just disconnected. They're not running anymore, I believe. Oh, what a shame. Okay, so it's looks like it's going to be totally empty when I get up to, when I finally get up there. It's going to be totally empty. Let's get to the next page on the checklist. Oh, I do love doing these little flight streams, though. I really enjoy doing them. Really fun. I haven't done a bit of Fly UK flying for a bit, so... And flying with ATC is way easier when using the text. It's a shame because they do tend to forget you a bit, I think, but... That's only when it gets crazy busy. I think they also help... That's the thing, I was doing voice at... Oh, the Navigraph FMS manager's on, so I'll just quit that. I don't know, honestly, it stays open, that FMS manager. I don't know how much, like, notice it takes, but, you know, I don't really care. So 230 miles it is now to Newcastle. So we've got 60 of those miles already done, which is pretty crazy because it was only about 295 mile flight today, so not too bad. Obviously, we were originally taking the Tiger departure out of. Oh, I need to put this up to 14 nautical miles. That's what I like it at. Oh, got a plane just ahead here that I can see on my TCAS. I think, given the altitude I'm at and the altitude this says it at, it's a Ryanair flying from Bologna to Dublin. So they're a good 30 miles ahead of us, and they're flying currently at the same altitude as me, but I think they're still climbing. So, you know. But yeah, I do love this BA livery. It's a shame I will have to get the Fly UK livery installed for next time. I do love the sound. Obviously, it's exactly the same variant, just different repaint. I'm absolutely loving the sound. It's not often, as I said earlier, it's not often I fly the IAE engined Airbus. I normally fly the CFM engine, so it's a nice little change in sound. Because like that's the thing, I've only ever flown the A321 4 times, and that's the one that Fly UK uses with the IAE engines. So it's nice, you know. I do like the. I've flown previously to Newcastle with the A321, and I've also flown to Dublin and back as well. So, because what I did when I first unlocked the rank that allowed me to fly this thing with Fly UK, the first thing I did was do a return flight to Newcastle, then a return flight to Dublin. That's the first thing I did. So, but I do like the A321. It's a nice little aircraft. In terms of short flights, though, this is pretty much the only route they fly it on. Fly UK, I think it's only 4 times I've flown it anyway. I might not be able to see. I'm looking at my crew page now. This tells me it's not on my most list anymore. Like most flied aircraft, it's not on there anymore. So it's definitely below 6 because that's the bottom one on that list. So it's less than 6. I think it's about 4. So I haven't flown it a lot. I've flown the A320 53 times. So in total, I've got 130 flight hours. Quite a lot, considering I only started flight simming in September of last year, and I definitely enjoy it. I'll say that I've really enjoyed doing flights. That's why I've stuck with it really. And I've only just noticed on Vatsim right now there are 666 connections. Oh, of course there are. There just happen to be 666 connections, don't there? Typical. So that Ryanair ahead now, I think it might actually be cruising at 32,000. And they're travelling at 380 knots ground speed. I'm doing 450 knots. That's why I'm catching them so fast. Yeah, so, you know. We're almost at cruise now. I reckon we'll have a good bit of the flight at cruise, because in terms of altitude restrictions, they're only above restrictions. No below restrictions, which means that there isn't really much worry in terms of that. there's no problem in terms of like when we descend. It's the descent will all be a totally normal one. The only restrictions we've got in terms of landing is the speed, which is down at 220 knots for quite a bit of the landing. From Aircore inwards, we're down at 220 knots. So I don't know why, but I've checked the charts and made sure that is correct, and it is. Okay, we're at cruise now. 106 miles at cruise, which I'd expect because these normally descend about 100 miles away from your destination. So 100 miles at cruise for this flight sounds bang on. I think we're on the same airway as this Ryanair one and this Tom. Oh yeah, LMEH, I can see on there. It is Menorca. Good. You could have got it right. But it's definitely on the same airways. I'm having a look at its route now. So it's taking UN 601 as far as Leicester. That's why. So as far as Leicester, we're on the same airway. And then it splits. So I'm on the same airway as it. That's why. Because I can view everybody's route, which is quite funny. Because obviously you put your route in when you file a flight on Vatsim. So, yeah. Pretty good. So I'm glad to hear that the ATC is quiet now. That's the last of the ATC we should have for this flight. I'm actually going to check. Let's check Vatsim UK to see if we are going to have control down in Newcastle. Let's just check quickly. So events, I think it is. No, controllers, pilots. There you go. ATC bookings. Today is Wednesday. We have no bookings whatsoever. So London Centre's coming online. Oh, that's in an hour's time. Never mind. Although they never seem to stick to the bookings anyway, because there's no mention either of London Centre booking a while ago. And that Essex Centre one is on there. So I don't know. It's pretty random. It seems like they just sort of do what they want with it anyway. They just seem to do what they want with it. So I don't think you can really rely on that. But yeah, we're making our way nicely. Obviously, Newcastle's quite quiet, so only us that it's looking like we're going to have on board today. So only us that are going to be down in Newcastle, basically. We're looking at something quite quiet. I do like the textures. It only seems to happen with the British Airways livery. Like it has some more clear textures, and you have these little textures on the buttons. It makes them look so realistic. I really like it. Unfortunately, you don't get them on the buttons up here. But you know, I've got no credits warning. Actually, let's just do a quick status check of the aircraft. Totally normal, which is what I want to see. Don't want to see some sort of emergency, obviously. I think I put a bit too much. I think I put 7.7 in, not 7.3. Oh well, I did that bit in a rush because I totally forgot. Rip, absolute rip, basically. But obviously, it's better that I put in too much fuel than too little fuel. That's obviously a good thing. Can I see that? I think I can see that Ryanair that I'm behind of in my oh, there's a plane on the ground there. Good, I can see a couple of planes. There's a Jet 2 here I haven't got a livery for, and a little Piper Cherokee. How nice. We've got to do some VFR flying sometime. I won't do it on Vatsim, but we've got to do a bit of VFR flying. I do enjoy the VFR flying. I spotted quite a nice little Austrian and Switzerland tour that Fly UK do, so I think we're going to maybe do a little series on that. Obviously, the summer holidays are coming up quite soon, so I'll get a good bit of time to do the flight streaming, which I'm looking forward to. Let's just quickly check the meta down in Newcastle. It is still the same one from 1750 Zulu. QNH is still 1013, so nothing that I did put in the barrow, didn't I? Yes, I did. It's there, 450. So that's exactly what I want. Obviously, the approach speed is changed down to 139, so changed a little bit. I think that's a Transavia plane. Just put, you would have seen the message come up at the top of the game, actually. But they just put a blank message, which I don't really understand. But never mind. I'm just going to quickly move my Vatsim map a little bit, make sure it's all good. So, at the moment now we're coming off the UP 601 airway and going on to the UY 250 airway now. So as far as Rinto, and then from there it's time to get ready for our landing. So our top of descent is actually just after Rinto, which is when we slow down. That's where our top of descent is. So it was originally 100 miles, it's down to 67. So we've done a good bit of cruising already. And we've only been at cruise 5 miles, so this plane's clearly having a bit of a good time to be going this fast. I don't know, I wish planes had feelings. Maybe they do. I don't know, I don't know why I'm saying that, but let's just ignore that. Maybe it'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? Oh, never mind. I mischecked the thing. The cost index is actually 30. I'll note that for now. I need to write down. It's because the A321, the A320 has a cost index of 25, and I'm used to flying a cost index of 25 because when we do the Ryanair tour, I'm supposed to use a cost index of 6, but that is so slow. I always go for a cost index of 25 anyway. But you know. So, in terms of viewers for this stream, we've had 6 different people click on the stream, so quite good. We've had 2 viewers for a good bit of the stream, 2 people viewing, nothing in the chat, which is obviously good for me. Well, it isn't good for me, but you know what I mean. I don't need to keep going back and checking. Actually, I'm silly. What I'm going to do is move it into its own little tab, and then I haven't thought this through. I haven't got enough space for it. Have I? I haven't got any space, so bit annoying. Let's just make it small and then make it so I can only see the chat, just like that. Yeah. Obviously, you can't see me doing this because it's on the other monitor. Make this tab a little bit smaller, and then move this tab into there, and I now have a view of the chat. How nice, lovely. Well, I've solved that issue. And we're approaching my favourite VOR in the entirety of England, TNT. Why did they? I know it's the Trent VOR, but it just gets me every time, the fact that they called it TNT, like it's explosive or something. It's quite funny. It's an approach to Manchester Airport, that. Manchester is still full on. You've got the ATIS, the tower, the ground, and the delivery. No approach anymore, but it's pretty nuts down there. Pretty nuts, I'll be honest. Glad I'm staying away from Manchester today. I didn't fancy any more ATC. You know, it's pretty crazy, isn't it, that? Pretty crazy. You know. Silly. So we're an hour into the stream, which is crazy. An hour into the stream. You can see my little mouse, look. Whee! You can see the little mouse. That's quite... I actually control... Oh no. I'm looking at my recording in order to change stuff on the aircraft. That makes me laugh. For some reason. Bit odd. 40 miles to descent. I'll go ahead and turn off... let's just get OBS. Minimised there. I want to check. What was I wanted to check? Can I try and make? I can't make VATS by any thinner than it already is, unfortunately. I'm using the full capacity of my second monitor to do this. I'm so glad I got 2 monitors though. You do need it. I'll be honest, you do need it for this. Oh no, really? Okay, I'm not sure which airport this is at. I just spotted it on my air traffic. It's an F-18 fighter jet with the call sign Rebel 5 Rebel, was it 15? Yeah, Rebel 15. That person is an absolute joker. Where are they? What airport is that? That's great. Absolutely great. Just makes me laugh sometimes. The randomness of Vatsim, that is. The total randomness of Vatsim. Oh,
Hello, Captain. Would you like some coffee? Enjoy.
there's the flight attendant coming to offer me some coffee. I don't like coffee, so oh well. Okay, so what we need to look at now, we want to look at our charts. So what we're looking at now, I want to look at the parking charts. I want to look at the docking chart, parking chart, whatever you call it, and the aerodrome chart. So there is literally nothing on the aerodrome. We're approaching on runway 26. No, 25, sorry, not 26. And that's it then. Probably vacate off Bravo or Alpha, doesn't really matter. And then go straight to the building. So that's about it, really. And then obviously the gates. I'm probably going to go for gate 4 or 5. And that's literally it. No need to really look at the charts at all. I'll be honest, there's nothing crazy there, is there? Just quickly look at my arrival again. Whoa, plane's made a little turn there, didn't know about that. So, there we go. We've got no crazy things, just a max of 220 knots from aircore and just above altitude, so nothing interesting there. Levels, via Betax, that isn't us, for Mitso, they're restrictions basically, but again, that doesn't concern us, as far as I'm aware. I don't think it does it? We're not touching any of those waypoints. No, we're not. Okay. General information. Yeah, I'm happy with all that. And that there was a change in the latest AirAct data. There was a brand new chart from last month. So, but apart from that, yeah, we've literally got nothing at all. Transition altitude is 6,000, and that's literally it. So, I'm perfectly happy with that. Our approach, so I'll cross it off now. Make sure there's no changes or anything I need to be notified about, which there wasn't. So, I'm perfectly happy to continue on now on this lovely flight. So yeah, nobody's chatting anything today, but I have got my solution now for being able to see the chat. Oh, that Transavia just put in another blank message. You can see it on the recording because of a little green line at the top of my flight sim. It says TRA 1208 and then colon and then it's blank from there. That's the message. Well, it's supposed to be the message. I don't know why they keep sending blank stuff. Yeah, all the audio was good and everything, so I'm happy with that. Hour and 5 minutes into the stream today, so how far the descent checklist has been completed without me knowing. It's been totally just completed without me knowing, which is quite funny. But it's nowhere near time to descend yet, so I don't know why they did it so... Actually, no, it's not that close. I don't know how they did the descent checklist without me knowing. And also, I'm going to keep Copilot on from now on anyway, because I've noticed there's a ton of things like there's certain features of the aircraft they don't actually tell you about. So, actually, you know what? We're leaving Copilot off. I just need to revise. I need to revise it. There is a checklist on here. Does that tell me what to do when I reach cruise? If it does, I will use that. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to print out the Fly UK checklist. For it, I'm going to do that. I need to do that. Right, so we're now descending down. We'll put in the ILS altitude, which is 2,000.
Initiating descent.
Descending from FL320 via SID. What's it called? The SID. Rint 1 November. I need to put start the message UGNT TFC. And I'll say using ILS 26 approach. And that's it, and that is
tilt.
all that needed. Set below that.
Set below.
Again, I obviously wasn't paying attention now because I was. That's the shame. Is the audio from my flight sim cuts out when I click on another program. I wish it didn't do that because it's so annoying that it does do that. You know, I need to look at other programs as well. I can't just stay on my flight sim. I need to look up how to maybe fix that as an issue, to stop it from happening because it's quite annoying. In terms of stands at Fly UK, I'm just going to check now. Do they know which stands we use down in Gatwick? No, sorry, not Gatwick. I'm being stupid again. Newcastle. Let's have a look. So, nothing noticeable. Nothing to notice. So there's absolutely no no stand allocation at all. So nothing to check, basically. Nothing to note. So we do need to slow down to 220 knots quite soon. It's a shame we have to slow down that soon, but, you know, it's obviously the restriction, and we have to follow it. I do wish it wouldn't, like, when I click off the game, it's not in any settings I can find. I can't go onto settings right now. I can't do that. Oh, they certainly won't have any thing to track how good my landing is. Or more likely how bad my landing is, to be honest. There'll be nothing to track it. I saw somebody's made a tool that tells you what your FPM is for X-Plane, so I'll see if I can find one for FSX. If you can do it in X-Plane, I'd assume you can do it in this one as well. I'm only guessing, obviously. Looking at it, we're extremely close to that right now. Oh, the reason I can't see it on my TCAS is because it's going up. It's flying out from Leeds now, just taken off from Leeds. I'm getting quite close now, actually. So just passing 23,000 feet now. Obviously there is no real, I don't know, this says there is an altitude restriction. Oh yeah, it's because it's above flight level 160. But I don't think it'll hit 160 that early, will it? Hopefully not, anyway. Obviously we do have to descend to 220 now. Not descend, sorry, slow down. Which it should do as soon as we pick up the waypoint. Well, it does it quite close to the waypoint. Basically, whenever it feels that it needs to start to slow down, it will. That's basically how it works. But for now, we're good. So, how long will we be in the air now? 34 minutes coming up on. Estimated flight time today by SimBrief was 55 minutes, and Fly UK said 57 minutes. So, pretty accurate. Obviously, SimBrief has an exact route that can be slightly different to Fly UK's, so I'll obviously go off SimBrief. So 55 minutes is the target, so that means we should be, so say that now, take off 21 minutes from that, that means 10, was it 10, it would be, in Sim, it would be 10:48, no, 10:46, sorry, 10:46. It's 10:55. I do know the Airbus. I can't really trust the Airbus's FMC because it's quite. It's a bit inaccurate, really. It's very inaccurate, actually. It's not great. Okay, so this is where it's chosen to slow itself down. So I'll do that now. Get the speed brakes out, you know. This aircraft is so quiet compared to the other one. So yeah, we're starting to... This wants to slow itself down now. And then it'll continue its descent path when it's ready. So down as far as 220 knots. Which is quite a slow down. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Well, never mind. We're only 58 miles away now, so it's not too long at that slow speed. And then it's going to start descending again now. I don't really understand why it needs to go, why it thinks we're so far off course. I need to stay above 160 here anyway. But, you know, I guess that's what it thinks, isn't it? And then we're going on to the ILS after that. Just checking all this is in order. Yeah, it is. So, I'm just checking all the route in that we're taking is in order with what's in brief says. And it is. So, good news, I guess. Good news. Good news! I have no idea what the good news is. Never mind. Never mind. Let's just ignore that. So, this thing, I'm going to try and get it to catch up back up with its descent path. But unfortunately, it seems to be limiting itself to a very slow FPM for some reason. I'll put this down to 10 now because I can see the ILS and all that. Just refresh down in EGNT. It is all good. It hasn't changed at all. Still QNH 1013, all that. Let's just check my approach speeds and all that. Still 139. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. All of it's ready to go. So, I'm going to try and maybe extend the flaps, I'm not sure, to get it to slow down. Because at the moment it does not want to slow down at the current state it's in. So maybe by extending the flaps a little bit, that'll help it. Yep, and that's helped it, because it's starting to descend properly now. To try and keep it at 220 knots, by putting out the flaps out, that should hopefully maintain and get it to try and keep the amount of knots that I want out of it. So I can take out the speed brakes now. I'm going to get the seatbelts on now, because we're reasonably close to landing. Close enough, definitely. Okay, so we're passing 13,000 now, so I'm totally happy with how this is going so far. So, just a case of sitting here waiting around now. Got a restriction of 9,000 at the next waypoint, so that's why it's descending so slowly now, I think. How busy is Newcastle looking? Extremely quiet. Good. Literally nothing at all. So, just want to check. We've still got 6 playbacks on the stream. So yeah, this is probably one of the slowest descents I've ever had at the moment. It's so slow. It's trying to stick as close to the constraints as it can, I think. Otherwise it won't be doing this. Like, it would have just waited a bit. It doesn't normally go this slow, does it? I mean, I haven't flown the A320 in a bit, I'll be honest. I haven't flown it... Well, I have flown it, like, reasonably... a reasonable amount. It's just that I've been flying the 737 as well. And I've also, I was thinking maybe to do Dash 8 today, but I decided Just stick with an A321. But I would love to do a couple of, maybe some Flybe flights, or obviously some Fly UK flights with the Majestic Dash 8. I'd like to do that, so I'll see. But I'd definitely like to do some. I'd like to get the Dash 8 on this channel. Put it that way. Okay, this thing's actually slowing down quite a lot. Is it still got auto throttle in? I just want to check. So no, that's what it's decided. It wants to be idle. We're approaching 10,000 feet now. I might put the flats. I don't know. Because the thing is, it's just, there you go. It's gone into speed mode now. Anyway, I think it's seen a bit of sense. So just turning now. We've got no more restrictions left in the flight. No more. So it's now just a case of approach. So 33 miles. Not far now, is it? It's not far at all. Which is what I like. Current's 10,000 now, so I can start to get the lights on again. Is it in co-pilot mode? No, it's not. So it's obviously up to me.
Passing 10,000 feet.
Lights on.
On.
It also turns on the landing system at this stage. Actually, let's just stick with co-pilot on, because honestly I can't be bothered at this race. I'd rather take control of the plane and let the first officer, like in real life, do all the little like buttons and all that. I don't know what it is. It's because of the fact that I use this plane. This was the first ever plane I used in the sim. I never learned, like the other planes I bought. I specifically spent at least 2 hours watching tutorials on how to fly them. This one, I didn't watch any tutorials, obviously, because originally I just started using checklists or whatever, and it sort of evolved from there. So this one I have a bit less knowledge, which is weird because I've flown it the most. I have less knowledge on how to fly it, I'd say. I don't know. I much prefer the layout of this plane though. I find it so much easier to use. It looks a lot more friendly compared to the 737, in my opinion. So 19 miles to the ILS now, so it's all pretty chill. Let's have a check actually, because obviously there's a bit of a weird, like it's above 2,000 then 2,000, which I checked the ILS should confirm with me. I haven't actually checked the chart for that. Let's go ahead and check it now. And this is saying here 2,000, and then start to descend when I'm 5.4 miles out. That's saying 5.4 miles away from the airfield, start to descend, basically, from 2,000. Obviously, the glide slope will capture all that for me, hopefully, providing it's deciding to work today. The approach checklist will start in a few miles as well. Just 24 miles. So, yeah, we'll have a look at what we've got. I can't see the tower yet. It's within range of my sim. Oh, there it is. Is that it there? Yeah, that's it. I can see the lovely UK 2000 scenery. So I have the airport in sight. Obviously, that doesn't really matter, does it? Given that, you know, but I'll just, so I'm going to get ready on the Unicom, the message I'll send out later. So there you go, it says Newcastle traffic established on ILS 25 to land.
Checklist.
So obviously I won't be doing that yet. I'll wait until I am on the ILS
Checked.
for that.
Sliding tables.
Stowed.
Stowed. Cabin signs.
Checked.
Nav accuracy.
Checked.
Bearer reference.
Nope.
Barrow reference set and cross-checked. 1013.
Let's just check that one more time. It's definitely 1013. See it there. So that's everything.
Altitude.
Yeah, it's all
Checked.
set.
1013.
1013.
Flight attendants, prepare for landing.
I can see the lovely city of Newcastle while I sort of obviously fly over. So we're getting ready to land now, getting close to the land, I guess. Oh, 4,500 feet now, so pretty good. 16 miles to the airport now, not far. Been streaming an hour and 22 minutes. It's not quite as long as some of the other airline streams I do, but it's obviously that's expected because we're only doing one flight today, and it's pretty long considering we've only done one flight because of the crazy delays we had down at Gatwick. Not too bad though. Right, this thing's going to start decelerating now, so...
Speed check, flaps 2.
There's flaps 2. I'm going to start to get into position to take control of this aircraft. It appears we've got some sort of localizer and ILS there, so... it's connected to it, I can see it there, look. So, hopefully, yeah, that is all... it all sorted.
Speed check, flaps 3.
So let's get the flaps out to
Speed
full
check,
now.
flaps full.
So I can see the flaps there, and then turn left, and there's the airport. So, pretty good. 3 miles, and then, which we need to be above 2,000 for that, and then at 2,000 the next time. Also, I'll go around altitude just so I know before we land. Actually, they'll set that for me, won't they? I'm being silly. They'll set that for me, the co-pilot and all that. Because that's the co-pilot's job, all those things. I just fly the plane because I'm the captain. Apparently. Right. So just passing 3,000, I've got the glide slope there. So let's go ahead and switch on approach mode. It's picked up the localizer somehow and hasn't picked up the glide slope. You what? That's in a backwards order to what I thought it would pick up. I mean, the glide slope's right there. I can't even see the localizer on my screen, but never mind. It's just ignore that.
Localizer alive.
Yeah, so there you go. Localizer's come onto our screen now, so the plane should hook up with it now. Look at this turn over the city of Newcastle. Nice. I'm pressing space. I'm pressing. Oh, there you go. There's the glide slope. Got it. So that's good. We should just about to get the localizer as well. And that's it then. So.
Localizer captured.
Yeah, there it is. We've got it. So this plane is now flying
2,500.
entirely on that, which means I can set the go around altitude today, which is that's the wrong button. Is 2,500. So I'm being silly. I'll let the co-pilot do that. So.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Gear's coming down. So there's the landing gear. We're 5.5 miles from the airport.
Autopilot off.
I'm going to go ahead and take control of
Landing
the aircraft.
checklist.
Landing gear.
Landing gear set. Obviously, it'll wait a bit
Landing
there.
gear.
There it is.
Down and locked. 3 greens.
Ground spoilers.
Checked and armed.
Auto brakes.
Medium.
Exterior lights.
On.
Go around altitude.
Set.
Landing memo.
Checked no blue.
Checklist complete.
Okay, that's all that done out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out the auto throttle. Also, if you can hear the creaking in the background, it's my chair. Unfortunately, I have tried, like, was it oiling it or something like that? Fixing it, basically. Trying to stop it from happening, let's just say that. It hasn't worked, so it just went back to normal, so you deal with it, I guess.
$1,000.
I'm not great at doing good landings in this plane, so let's just hope. Hope. I'm a bit high at the moment. I'm definitely too fast. Oops.
500.
Didn't notice. I didn't think I was that fast. I did think I was a bit fast approaching the runway there. Whoa.
400.
I'm not great, as you know, at landing.
300. 100 above. 200. Minimum.
There's minimum.
Continue.
Sink rate.
100.
Flight slow.
70, 60, 50, 40, 30,
Flight slow.
20. Retard. 10. 5.
Pretty
Ground
smooth, I
spoiler.
think. I'm not entirely sure, obviously.
$70 knots.
Manual brakes.
Manual
Brakes off.
braking. And there you go. Flaps go back down to 0. And that's it. We're here. And on the little speed brakes now, they popped out. Lovely. We are here after about a 52-minute flight, so not bad. I need to remember to go back to control, obviously, for the steering. Oh, I never sent that message on the VPI. Never mind. A bit too late now. So it's doing all that now, so let's just go ahead and get our parking sorted. So gate 4 I was planning today. Don't want to follow me, I know Newcastle
APU
Airport, I've
on.
flown there a few times before. Handling is only by EasyJet. They're
After
the only
landing
people who seem to do
checklist.
it.
Exterior lights.
Checked.
Ground spoilers.
Checked retracted.
Engine mode selector.
Checked normal.
Flaps.
Checked retracted.
TCAS.
Checked standby.
Brake temperature.
Checked.
APU.
On.
Checklist complete.
That's it. So we're here down in Newcastle. Flight time of 52 minutes. About what we expected. So I don't think that was too rough a landing, but you know, not time to turn in yet. So we are approaching the gate. It's the gate we wanted, obviously. I do suspect that the marshal that's supposed to be bringing us in is somewhere inside that building, but you know, I can't see him. So turning in now. Yeah, and I can't see the marshal anywhere, so oh wow. Passing the parking manually, I guess. Because the marshal's probably inside that building somewhere. Lost, I don't know. But that seems correct. Okay. Cut engines.
And the parking checklist.
And that's it, we're down. Let's go ahead and get ground
Parking brake
power
and chocks.
and all that sorted.
Chocks are set. Parking brakes released.
Engine master.
Both off.
Seatbelt signs.
So I'm connected to the external
Set
power.
off.
Beacon lights.
Set off.
Exterior lights.
Set off.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Fuel pumps.
Set off.
Checklist complete.
There you go. That should be everything. I'm opening all the doors now. And that's it. All the checklists have been completed. So everything and all that's off as I expect. Let's go ahead and check the overhead panel to make sure everything's off. All that's off. And that's it. Okay, so that's this plane finished with, I guess. Let's go ahead and stop recording on SkyTrack. Submit the flight. I can cross off that, disconnect from Vatsim. Sorry if you hear the dog barking in the background there. Rip. Oh well. Okay, so we can go ahead and cross off the charts and get rid of SimBrief as well and the Fly UK. Let's have a look at. I can have a look now. What's it called? Logbook. See the flight, we've done that. So I don't know why it only registered we had 17 passengers, but never mind. It doesn't really matter. We've had 7 different viewers, so pretty good. 7 playbacks, pretty good. So happy with that. Well, parking's pretty good. I'm happy with that. We're a bit off the. We're bang on this down here, bang on, but maybe a bit short. I don't know. It's a shame we didn't have a marshaller, so the marshal would have been somewhere behind there, I bet. Never mind. Never mind. So they're unloading all the cargo and all that now. There is a little bit of lag. I don't know, it always lags in the outside cam. Don't really understand it. This cam's okay, isn't it? I don't know. I think it's my GSX that lags it, because it was fine when we were in the air. Actually lagging a bit now in the cockpit. Don't know why. I think GSX probably uses a bit more power, doesn't it? Never mind. Okay, let's go ahead and get the desktop audio turned off there. And then get this up. Okay. Thank you so much for watching today's stream. I hope you really enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed doing the flight. So, you know, nice little taste of doing the A321 that I haven't flown for a good bit. So, you know, I don't know why I just crossed off my live control room. There was no reason to do that whatsoever. Because I need to physically click end stream on there. But, you know, let's just leave that. Oh well. Alright, cross off the flight sim and all that. So, yeah. Perfectly happy with that. Very happy indeed. So, did enjoy doing that flight, as I said. So, nice little flight down from, what's it called? Gatwick down to Newcastle today. So, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next stream. Bye-bye.